Cantos 1 to 3 of Book 2 of the Ramayana of Valmiki. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Om123. Book 2 of the Ramayana of Valmiki, translated by Ralph T.H. Griffith. Cantos 1 to 3. Canto 1. The Heir Apparent. So Bharat to his grandsire went, obedient to the message sent, and for his fond companion chose Shatrugna, slayer of his foes. There Bharat for a time remained, with love and honor entertained, King Asapati's constant care, beloved as a son and heir. Yet ever, as they lived at ease, while all around combined to please, the aged sire they left behind was present to each hero's mind. Nor could the king's fond memory stray from his brave children far away, dear Bharat and Shatrugna dear, each Barun's match or Indra's peer. To all the princes young and brave, his soul with fond affection clave. Around his loving heart they clung, like arms from his own body sprung. But best and noblest of the four, good as the God whom all adore, Lord of all virtues undefiled, his darling was his eldest child. For he was beautiful and strong, from envy free, the foe of wrong, with all his father's virtues blessed, and peerless in the world confessed. With blessed soul he softly spoke, no harsh reply could taunts provoke. He ever loved the good and sage, revered for virtue and for age, and when his martial tasks were o'er, sat listening to their peaceful lore. Wise, modest, pure, he honored eld, his lips from lying tales withheld. Due reverence to the Brahmans gave, and ruled its passion like a slave. Most tender, prompt at duty's call, loved by all men, he loved them all. Proud of the duties of his race, with spirit meet for warrior's place, he strove to win by glorious deed, throned with the gods a priceless meed. With him, in speech and quick reply, Brihaspati might hardly vie, but never would his accents flow for evil or for empty show. In art and science duly trained, his student vow he well maintained. He learned the law for princes' feet, the Vedas and their holy rite, and with his well-drawn bow at last, his mighty father's fame surpassed. Of birth exalted, truthful, just, with vigorous hand, with noble trust, well taught by aged twice-born man, who gain and right could clearly can. Full well the claims and bounds he knew, of duty, gain, and pleasure too. Of memory keen, of ready tact, in civil business prompt to act. Reserved, his features never disclosed, what counsel in his heart reposed. All idle rage and mirth controlled, he knew the times to give and hold. Firm in his faith, of steadfast will, he sought no wrong, he spoke no ill. Not rashly swift, not idly slow, his faults and others keen to know. Each merit by his subtle sense, he matched with proper recompense. He knew the means that wealth provide, and with keen eye expense could guide. Wild elephants could he reclaim, and mettled steeds could mount and tame. No arm like his the bow could wield, or drive the chariot to the field. Skilled to attack, to deal the blow, or lead a host against a foe. Yea, even infuriate gods would fear, to meet his arm in full career. As the great sun in noontide blaze is glorious with his world of rays, so Rama with these virtues shone, which all men love to gaze upon. The aged monarch fain would rest, and said within his weary breast, "Oh, that I might, while living yet, my Rama over the kingdom set, and see before my course be run, the hallowed drops anoint my son. See all this spacious land obey, from side to side, my firstborn sway. And then, my life and joy complete, obtain in heaven a blissful seat." In him the monarch saw combined the fairest form, the noblest mind, and counselled how his son might share the throne with him as regent heir. For fearful signs in earth and sky, and weakness warned him death was nigh. But Rama, to the world endeared, by every grace his bosom cheered. The moon of every eye, whose ray drove all his grief and fear away, so duty urged that hour to seize himself, his realm, to bless and please. From town and country, far and near, he summoned people, prince and peer. To each he gave a meet abode, and honored all and gifts bestowed. Then, splendid in his king's attire, he viewed them as the general sire, in glory of a god arrayed, looks on the creatures he has made. But Kaikeya's king he called not then, for haste, nor Janak, lord of man. For after to each royal friend the joyful tidings he would send. Meet crowds from distant countries met, the king upon his throne was set. Then honored by the people all, the rulers thronged into the hall. On thrones assigned, each king in place looked silent on the monarch's face. Then guarded by lords of high renown, and throngs from hamlet and from town, he showed in regal pride, as honored by the radiant band of blessed gods that round him stand, Lord Indra thousand-eyed. Canto 2. The People's Speech. Then to the full assembly bowed the monarch, and addressed the crowd, with gracious speech in accents loud, as heavenly drum or thunder cloud. Needs not to you who know declare, however with paternal care, my fathers of Ikshaku's line have ruled the realm which now is mine. I too have taught my feet to tread the pathway of the mighty dead, and with fond care that never slept, have as I could my people kept. So toiling still and never remiss, for all my people's will and bliss, beneath the white umbrella's shade, old age is come and strength decayed. Thousands of years have over me flown, and generations round me grown, and passed away. I crave at length repose and ease for broken strength. Feeble and worn I scarce can bear the ruler's toil, the judge's care, with royal dignity await that tries the young and temperate. I long to rest, my labour done, and in my place to set my son. If too the twice born gathered here, my counsel wise and good appear. For greater gifts than mine adorn Rama my son, my eldest born. Like Indra brave, before him fall the foeman's cities, tower and wall. Him prince of man for power and might, the best maintainer of the right. Fair as the moon when nothing bars his glory close to Pushya's stars. Him with tomorrow's light I fain, a throne the consort of my reign. Ye worthy lord, for you I win, marked as her own by fortune's queen. The triple world itself would be well ruled by such a king as he. To such high bliss and happy fate will I the country dedicate, and my sad heart will cease to grieve if he the precious charge receive. Thus is my careful plan matured, thus for myself is rest secured. Lieges, approve the words I say, or point ye out some wiser way. Devise your prudent plan, my mind is fondly to this thought inclined. But man by keen debating move, some middle course which all approve. The monarch ceased, in answer came the joyous princess' glad acclaim. So peacocks in the rain rejoice, and hail the cloud with lifted voice. Murmurs of joy from thousands round shook the high palace with the sound. Then when the gathered throng had learned his will, who right and gain discerned, pageant and townsman, priest and chief, all met in consultation brief, and soon agreed with one accord, gave answer to their sovereign lord. King of the land, we know thee old, thousands of years have over thee rolled. Rama, thy son, we pray anoint, and at thy side his place appoint. Our gallant prince, so brave and strong, riding in royal state along, our eyes with joyful pride will see, screened by the shade that shelters thee. Then spake the king again, as though their heart's true wish he sought to know. These prayers for Rama's rule suggest one question to my doubting breast. This thing, I pray, with truth explain, why would ye, while I justly reign, that he, mine eldest son, should bear his part with me as ruling heir? Then all the people made reply, pageant and townsmen, low and high. Each noblest gift of form and mind, O monarch, in thy son we find. Do thou the godlike virtues hear, which Rama to our hearts endear. So richly blessed with graces, none in all the earth excels thy son. Nay, who to match with him may claim, in truth, in justice, and in fame. True to his promise, gentle, kind, unenvious, of grateful mind, versed in the law, and firm of soul, he keeps each sense with strict control. With duteous care he loves to sit by Brahmans skilled in holy rite. Hence brightest glory never to end, and matchless fame his youth attend. Skilled in the use of spear and shield, and arms which heavenly warriors wield. Supreme in war, unconquered yet, by man find God in battle met. Whenever in pomp of war he goes, against the town or city of the foes, he ever comes with Lakshman back, victorious from the fierce attack. Returning homeward from afar, borne on his elephant or car, he ever to the townsmen bends, and greets them as beloved friends. Asks how each son, each servant tribes, how fair our pupils' offerings wipes. And like a father bids us tell, each for himself, that all is well. If pain or grief the city tries, his heart is swift to sympathize. When festive scenes our thoughts employ, he like a father shares the joy. High is the fate, O king, that gave thy Rama born to bless and save. With filial virtues fair and mild, like Kashyap, old Marichi's child. Hence to the kingdom's distant ends, our general prayer for him ascends. Each man in town and country prays for Rama's strength, health's length of days. With hearts sincere, their wish the same, the tender girl, the aged dame, subject and stranger, patient hind, one thought impressed on every mind. At evening and at dawning day, to all the gods for Rama pray. Do thou, O king, of grace comply, and hear the people's longing cry, and let us on the throne by thee the lotus-tinted Rama see. O thou, who givest boons, attend, a gracious ear, O monarch, lend, and for our weal install, consenting to our earnest prayer, thy godlike Rama, recent heir, who seeks the good of all. Canto 3. Dasarath's Precepts. The monarch with the prayer complied, of suppliant hands on every side, uplifted like a lotus bed. And then these gracious words he said: Great joy and mighty fame are mine, because your loving hearts incline, in full assembly clearly shown, to place my Rama on the throne. Then to Vasistha, standing near, and Bhamadeva loud and clear, the monarch spoke that all might hear. It is pure and lovely Chaitra now, when flowers are sweet on every bough. All needful things with haste prepare, that Rama be appointed heir. Then burst the people's rapture out, in loud acclaim and joyful shout. And when the tumult slowly ceased, the king addressed the holy priest. Give order, saint, with watchful heed, for what the coming rite will need. This day let all things ready wait, mine eldest son to consecrate. Best of all men of second birth, Vasistha heard the Lord of earth, and gave commandment to the bands of servitors with lifted hands, who waited on their master's eye. Now by tomorrow's dawn supply rich gold and herbs and gems of price, and offerings for the sacrifice, wreaths of white flowers and roasted rice, and oil and honey separate, new garments and a car of state, an elephant with lucky signs, a fourfold host in ordered lines, the white umbrella and a pair of chowries and a banner fair, 100 vases row on row to shine like fire in splendid glow, a tiger's mighty skin, a bull with gilded horns most beautiful. All these at dawn of coming day around the royal shrine array, where burns the fire's undying ray, each palace door, each city gate, with wreaths of sandal decorate. And with the garland's fragrant scent, let clouds of incense smoke be blent. Let food of noble kind and taste be for 100,000 placed. Fresh curds with streams of milk bedewed, to feed the Brahman multitude. With care be all their wants supplied, and mid the twice-born chiefs divide rich largesse with the early morn, and oil and curds and roasted corn. Soon as the sun has shown his light, pronounced a prayer to bless the rite, and then be all the Brahmans called, and in their ordered seats installed. Let all musicians skilled to play, and dancing girls in bright array, stand ready in the second ring, within the palace of the king, each on a tree, each holy shrine, with leaves and flowery wreaths entwine. And here and there, beneath the shade, be food prepared and presents laid. Then brightly clad in warlike guise, with long swords girt upon their thighs, let soldiers of the nobler sort march to the monarch's splendid court. Thus gave command the twice-born pair to active servants stationed there. Then hastened to the king and said that all their task was duly sped. The king to wise Sumantra spake, "Now quick, my lord, thy chariot take, and hither with thy swiftest speed my son, my noble Rama, lead." Sumantra, ere the word was given, his chariot from the court had driven, and Rama, best of all who ride in cars, came sitting by his side. The lords of man had hastened forth from east and west and south and north, Aryan and stranger, those who dwell in the wildwood and on the fell. And as the gods to Indra, they showed honor to the king that day. Like Basav, when his glorious form is circled by the gods of storm, God in his hall by kings he saw his car-born Rama near him draw. Like him who rules the minstrel band of heaven, whose valor filled the land, of mighty arm and stately pride, like a wild elephant in stride, as fair in face as that fair stone, dear to the moon of moonbeams grown, with noble gifts and grace that took the hearts of all and changed its look, world cheering as the Lord of rain, when floods relieved the parching plain. The father, as the son came nigh, gazed with an ever thirstier eye. Sumantra helped the prince alight from the good chariot passing bright, and as to meet his sire he went, followed behind him reverent. Then Rama clomb the king to seek that terrace like Kailasha's peak, and reached the presence of the king, Sumantra closely following. Before his father's face he came, raised suppliant hands and named his name, and bowing lowly as is meet, paid reverence to the monarch's feet. But as soon as Dasaratha viewed the prince in humble attitude, he raised him by the hand in haste, and his beloved son embraced, then signed him to a glorious throne, jam-decked and golden, near his own. Then Rama, best of Raghu's line, made the fair seat with lustre shine, as when the orient sun upsprings, and his pure beam on Meru flings. The glory flashed on roof and wall, and with strange sheen suffused the hall, as when the moon's pure rays are sent through autumn's starlit firmament. Then swelled his breast with joy and pride, as his dear son the father eyed, even as himself more fair arrayed, in some clear mirror's face displayed. The aged monarch gazed a while, then thus addressed him with a smile, as Kashyap, whom the worlds revere, speaks for the Lord of gods to hear. O thou of all my sons most dear, in virtue best thy father's peer, child of my consort first in place, mine equal in her pride of race, because the people's hearts are bound to thee by graces in thee found, be thou in Pushya's favouring hour made partner of my royal power. I know that thou by nature's bent both modest art and excellent, but though thy gifts no counsel need, my love suggests a friendly rede. Mine own dear son, be modest still, and rule its sense with honest will. Keep thou the evils far away that spring from love and anger's sway. Thy noble cause alike pursue, in secret as in open view, and every nerve the love to gain of ministers and subjects train. The happy prince who sees with pride his striving people satisfied, whose arsenals with arms are stowed, and treasury with golden hoard. His friends rejoice as joyed the blest, when Amrit crowned their eager quest. So well, my child, thy course maintain, and from all ill thy soul refrain. The friends of Rama gathered nigh, longing their lord to gratify, ran to Kaushalya's bower to tell the tidings that would please her well. She, host of dames, with many a gem and gold and kine rewarded them. Then Rama paid the reverence due, mounted the chariot and withdrew, and to his splendid dwelling drove, while crowds to show him honour strove. The people, when the monarch's speech their willing ears had heard, were wild with joy as though on each great gifts had been conferred. With meek and low salute each man turned to his home away, and there with happy heart began to all the gods to pray. End of Cantos 1 to 3.